Well, fireworks on Capitol Hill as Republicans say they will pass a budget bill this week that withholds funding for the president's health care law. But it stands little chance of passing in the democratically controlled Senate, setting the stage for a showdown that could push the government towards a shutdown. Democrats claim that's just what Republicans want. House Speaker John Boehner says that is not the case.
There should be no conversation about shutting the government down. That's not the goal here. Our goal here is to cut spending and to protect the American people from Obamacare. It's as simple as that. There's no interest on our part in shutting the government down.
This is not the time to play games of gotcha or political chicken. Unfortunately, there are some folks who are intent on doing that, perhaps believe they got elected to do so.
So is there any room for compromise? Let's debate all of this. Monica Crowley is a radio talk show host. Kirsten Powers is a Daily Beast columnist. Both are Fox News contributors. Ladies, great to have you here.
Hi, Ellie.
Hi.
Hey, Allison.
Kirsten, let me start with you. Are Republicans playing chicken with this, with the debt ceiling and with the government shutdown, or are they not? It's hard to tell since some of them are saying one thing and some are saying another.
Well, I think the best way to figure out what people are doing is just to look at their actions, not what they're saying. And if you look at their action, then they are absolutely playing chicken with this Obamacare nonsense. The idea that they think that they're ever going to get any agreement on defunding Obamacare is absurd. They know that. So if they know that and they continue with this, they continue to have the budget attached to the fact that Obamacare must be defunded, then they know for a fact that the budget is not going to pass.
Okay.
So if they think they're going to get away with this game, good luck with that. It's not going to work. I think everybody can see what's going on. And I also, don't think they have any right to defund Obamacare, nor do I think there's any kind of mandate in this country to do so.
Monica, what do you think is going on Capitol Hill?
Well, nobody on the Republican side is talking about shutting down the government. The legislation that Congressman Tom Graves has put forward actually does the exact opposite. What it does is fund every other facet of the government with the exception of Obamacare. And so what the Republicans are doing is saying, listen, almost 2/3 of the American people hate this thing and want it repealed either in its entirety or in part. So public support is with the Republicans on this.
No,
defunding right now is the only way to try to stop it. Actually, yeah, we've seen this polling. Actually, more and more people,
I'll get into that in a second.
As they come to know Obamacare, they really hate it, including a lot of Democrats
Obamacare
and the
hasn't
labor
even started
unions.
yet.
Yes, and that's exactly
How can you
the
hate
point.
something that hasn't even started?
And that's exactly
But let
the
me
point.
tell you the latest polling, that, just so that we're all on the same page and we can agree to use one. The latest USA Today Pew Research Center poll this week shows that 53% of Americans, 53%, don't like Obamacare. So, Kirsten, that's a majority. And so what are Democrats supposed to do when their
I think what you
don't
then
like
do, look at that same poll, and of the 53%, it's divided half and half of what should be done. Half of them say that the Congress should do their best to implement it. Half of them say that Congress should stop it. Pew says the people who are saying that Congress should defund it and stop it are 23% of the overall population. That is what we call a minority. A small minority. So the Republicans have taken 23% of the population and are claiming that a majority of Americans want to defund Obamacare. It's not true.
Okay.
Furthermore, Obamacare has not even started.
For
so I
every
don't
poll,
even understand
for
how
every
anybody
poll you can
cannot
throw
like
out, we can give you another poll. For example, yesterday, Rasmussen reports 51% of the American people are willing to go for shutdown in order to stop the funding of this monstrosity.
Well, I'd love to see how that works out.
The American public don't like the idea of socialized medicine. It's not just Republicans, Kirsten, or conservatives.
Not socialized medicine.
You've got a lot of Democrats running away from this thing. You've got labor unions begging for special waivers and exemptions. So look, what the Republicans are saying is, look, this thing cannot be fixed. You've got crony socialism going on where politically connected allies of this president, like unions, are trying to get waivers and exemptions from this thing. Let's exempt all of America from this and start from the beginning. This doesn't mean a government shutdown. Republicans are saying we're going to fund every other part of the government except for this thing that is already starting to blow up this economy.
And Kirsten,
this kind of craziness is going to destroy the Republican Party. Truly,
it's not craziness when the American people are in droves with them on this.
No, they're not. The American people are not with the Republicans. And by the way, this is not socialism. These are exchanges. These are insurance exchanges. If
Kirsten,
this is socialism, I am the queen of Sheba.
This is the first big step to
Go ahead,
socialism.
Monica.
In the
is-
president's own words, let me just say this. In the president's own words, Nancy Pelosi's own words, Tom Harkin's own words, they said that this is one giant leap to their ultimate objective, which is single payer. So if this thing goes through and gets funded now, that is the end of the story. Okay,
Well,
that's why you have to stop it now.
Single payer isn't even socialism. I mean, it's not.
Well, that's
I
where we
support single
disagree.
payer.
That's a
no,
fundamental
it's not.
disagreement.
Hold on. Okay, go ahead, Kirsten.
Government-funded health care is like in the UK, right, where they work for the government. This is so far removed from that. These are health insurance exchanges.
But Kirsten, let me ask you the question about that
came out of
Monica
the
was talking
Heritage
about.
Foundation.
But hold on one second about the plan that Congressman Tom Graves has come up with, where he says that they can avert a government shutdown if they work to defund Obamacare. Do you see that as any sort of winning strategy for the Republicans?
This is like saying we can pass a budget if you can prove there's life on Mars. I mean, they're putting something in there that is absolutely a non-starter, as it should be. They have no right to hold up the government because 23% of the population, by the way, a poll that everybody was just quoting a minute ago on the 53% number, now is a poll we're not using. They have no right to hold up the government over the fact that the Tea
Nobody's
Party
holding up the
basically
government,
wants to
Kirsten.
defund Obamacare.
Nobody is holding up the government.
Monica, I'll give
And
you
if
the
they
last
want to
word.
do
Go ahead,
it, if they want to do it, they're going to pay a price for it.
You guys
Monica,
can
last
try that
word.
spin, but the Republicans really need to have their messaging clear. If there is a partial government shutdown, it's the Democrats' choice to shut down the government, okay, in order to try to stop Obamacare from going through, period.
This is just a horrible strategy for Republicans.
Look, you know what the Republicans
I
are
look
doing?
forward to
The
this.
Republicans are saying, look, we're going to try to save the country from socialized medicine. We're going to try to force the Democrats to either support grossly unpopular legislation or vote to kill their signature legislation. I think that's pretty brilliant.
All right, the producers are telling me we have to go, but I was so compelled by both of your arguments. Monica Crowley, Kirsten Powers, thanks so much. We'll see what happens in the next 12 days.
Thank you.